Hi, Lisa Gifford here, and we have a special guest with us today, Miss Beth. Miss Beth, what are we doing today?
I am showing this cute little tic-tac-toe board I made, and it's really cute. I used a 12.5-inch square to make the back, and then on the front I used a 4.5-inch to make a 9-patch, and I used circles, the 3.5-inch circle to make the O's, and the small heart right here to make the hearts. And you just iron on Velcro to the back and sew this together and pink the edges. You stuff it with some fiberfill, and I also use some cam snaps so they can just fold it up like this and take it with them, and they don't lose anything.
That is absolutely adorable.
I love this.
Yes, so we're going to go over some of the supplies that you might need. You might have some of these already, but she kind of alluded to them. We've got the squares templates, and she used, I believe, a 4.5-inch square
Correct.
to make her 9-patch. We've got the circle templates, and she used the 3.5-inch circle template to make her circles. Like she said, the small heart to make the hearts. Martelli has a 12.5-inch square that you can get. It also comes with a fussy cut window, and that's how she did it to square up her 9-patch, and then also to make the backing. And I think you got batting in here too,
I
right?
do. I put batting in
there. A little bit
there.
of batting in there, so she
And
can
then
use
I
that.
just did a raw edge, did a decorative stitch around the edge, and then kind of top stitched on the 9-patch.
Yeah,
and
she
then
did
I
that real
pinked,
pretty serpentine
yeah,
stitch.
and then I pinked the edges.
Yeah, so some of the plies that you're going to need, can snaps. Martelli has an amazing snap pliers with the little snaps, so you could have these. Clips, that will be a product that you might need to in making your project. Of course, your rotary cutter. You're just going to need just a little bit of batting. Martelli actually has a great product called our fiberfill, so you can get some of the fiberfill. Here's where she's using clips, and if you don't have some pinking shears, get you some pinking shears to make it real pretty. So those are, it's just a real simple to make. And again, I'm gonna move some of these aside, and we're gonna start with the process on how she had made this. I think you'd started by just cutting your little squares, right?
I did.
So she said she used the 4.5-inch square template to do that. So I'm just gonna grab like a little piece of fabric, and if you're not familiar with the Martelli templates, they're actually all perfect, and they all have that get-a-grip on the back. So you're gonna need to cut out 9 squares. So you're just gonna set your template on your fabric. Imagine this was ironed, because it's not. And grab your little rotary cutter, and you're just gonna cut out that square. And you could stack up all of your fabric, and you'd be able to cut pretty much all of them at the same time. These will easily go through more than a single layer. So you're gonna cut that out, you're gonna get 9 of them. Then if you have the bigger one, you're gonna cut a 12.5-inch, and then also cut your batting. You're gonna sew all of your pieces together, correct? That's the first thing that you did. You got all the pieces all sewed together like a simple 9-patch that you've seen. And it could be, you could do this, I'd see it in a black and white layout. It could be in any color. Yeah. She kind of chose this, got a little mix of Valentine's Day here. We got a little bit of Easter going on here. So that's just showing, how easy it is to cut it out with the square. Now the circles are a little bit different. I'm going to show you how to use the circle template. Do you want me to do it, or do you want to do it, Miss Beth?
I'll let you.
Okay. So the circle templates is a quarter circle. So you're just going to take your fabric, and you're going to fold it twice. Fold it, and then fold it again. So now you got this point right here where this double fold is, and you're going to take your template. If you have the circle template, you're going to take that point right here, and you're going to place it on that double fold right there. And because it has the get-a-grip on here, you can move it to whatever's comfortable for you to do your cutting. So when you have it on there the way you want it to look, then you're just going to cut around this edge. You can use the 45 or you can use the 28. They both work quite well with this. I'm going to grab my little 45 here, and I could pivot as I go, but it's just gonna make the most beautiful little cut. And now when you open that up, you've got the perfect, this is a 3.5 inch circle, so it's a perfect circle. Don't mind the wrinkle. So that's on there. And then her hearts, they're just done a little bit differently. I'm gonna grab the heart. This is the one that you used, right?
Yes.
The small one?
Yes.
So it's almost like the same concept of doing the circles, but now you're just placing it on the fold. So the heart is just on a single fold. Fold your fabric, place that straight edge right here on the edge of where you're going to be doing your cutting on the fold. The fold's here, so you're not going to cut off that fold. And then with your rotary cutter, you're just going to cut around. And because you've got that get a grip on there, you can rotate your fabric to do your cuts. And then when you open up, you've got the perfect little heart. So you would have cut, you've got 10 total, so you would have cut a total, or five hearts, 5 circles, so you would have cut out 10 hearts,
Yes.
and you would have cut out 10 circles to put them all together. So after you had all of your pieces cut out, what was the next thing that you did?
Then I marked on the hearts and the circles. I marked in a 1/2 inch for a sewing line. And I put my fiber fill in first. And then I used my little clips to clip them and went over to the sewing machine and sewed them down.
Yeah, so we're not worrying about having stitching and flipping. She's actually got this beautiful little raw edge that's going to be on here. So all we have to do once it's all sewed down, we're just going to do the pinking shears around it. So she's got these all clipped and ready to go. She's got her markings on here. So I'm going to take these over to the sewing machine. We're going to whip these up real quick, and then we'll be right back over here. All right, so I got the 2 pieces that Miss Beth has got cut up and ready for me to sew. And you know, here's another thing. They don't have to be the same fabrics. They can be different. It just gives it a little bit of interest. But I wanted to point out one of the things. If you're going to be using the Velcro, the little Velcro dots to attach these to your piece, go ahead and attach it to the fabric before you start doing your sewing. Go ahead and get that on here so that you don't have to be fiddling with it when you got it all sewed.
Iron it from the back side.
Yeah, and because you're ironing it from the back side, so you would have to iron through all of it. So go ahead and get that piece prepped before you go ahead and do. So the only hint that she told me to do is, as I'm going around, just kind of push in that little bit of polyfill. And it's just a little handful, just a little dab, and just kind of push it in as you're sewing around, so make sure it's all tucked in there. So I'm just going to sew right here on these lines, and I think I'm probably going to make it a pretty tight stitch. I'm sewing on the M7, so I'm going to have a really close stitch length. So I'm going to set it probably on 1.7. I'm going to have it on 1.7, and I just got my needle in the middle because I'm just going to drop it down and just follow all the way around, and I will back tack at the beginning and at the end. Okay, great use for clips for this project because you got that little bit of batting in there. So I'm going to just drop the needle down so I can get it right there on that line. And this is not, this is not a race. You just take your time and just go around. So, as a matter of fact, I'm going to slow my machine down a little bit. I usually sew pedal to the metal. Take my time so I can stay right there on that line. Now, and another thing, she actually used, this is in one of those, they disappear inks, right?
Yes.
You used, so she just
a friction pen.
Yeah, a friction pen. So all you have to do when you get done, you'd be able to tap it with an iron, it would disappear. There's also, you could also go over it lightly with a pencil. So that was another tool that, we forgot to mention that, little friction pen or whatever mic tool that you like to use. Making sure everything's all tucked in. Just a little bit fiddly at this part, isn't it?
Oh, I just whipped it around.
Here I'm trying to be so perfect.
Oh, mine's not perfect. I just whipped it around and
Trying to keep the edges lined up, the stuffing in there, and get on those lines. You did what? You just whipped it around and
I
it's
just
okay?
whipped it around. I just flattened it out and with my left hand and kept the edges straight with the right hand
Okay.
and just kind of pulled it on around.
Well, because you get it all even at the end when you hit it with the pinking shears, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm moving this polyfill all the way to the other side. Get it out of my way. Get that mush because I shoved it all on the one side. Here, I'll have you fluff that out when I get to the next one. So that's the heart. Now we're going to get the little circle done. Oh no, I got a little bit there. Alright, so there's where should I smooth that? I'm going to hit that. So, see, that's me not paying attention. Let me get over that little spot right there and smooth that out. My needle shifted on me at one point. There.
Okay, you got some scissors there?
Nope, got these all sewed, so we're going to go over to the other table and we're going to go start doing our trimming. Alright, so we got them all sewed up. So I wanted to show you all done. We didn't tap them with the iron yet. We're just going to go ahead. Miss Beth is going to grab her little pinking shears and she's going to show us what she did to get these all pinked up.
And I'm going to make a mess.
Well, that's what we like to do. Every sewing room needs to get messy or you're not doing nothing.
No, I can't stand the mess. Shirley can tell you.
Those are good scissors.
Mm-hmm. She gave me 2 pair, and these are the smaller pair. They're not as heavy. So it was good for me, because I wasn't a weightlifter.
There you go.
Okay, just stick that one right there.
And you, like I said, you need to have 5 hearts and 5 O's. And we were just discussing just before we got back on the camera that you thought that this would be a great project to make in all different sizes. It doesn't necessarily have to be this size, but it could be as big or as small. Well, not as small, but as big as you'd want it to be, right?
Right. I'm going to make one for my grandkids that's a 24-inch where they can sit in the floor and just play tic-tac-toe.
Oh, that would be good. So you would probably need to do, what, about 8-inch squares for your 9-patch. I think that'd be about the size of the squares for your 9-patch center, and then they would probably even out to be really close to that 24 inches, and then use a different size heart. I think the heart, they do come in 4 different sizes, so you've got the 4, 6, 8, 10. So you could probably even go, this would be the, let's see, the 4, the 6. So this would easily, you could probably go all the way up to the 8. I think this is the 8-inch. So this might be the perfect little one for the hearts or the 8.5-inch circle. So you could make this as large as you want to make this. So it doesn't have to be just limited to this size. So once she had all of this done, what was the last step of what you did after you had these pieces all put together? I think it was
I used the little snap pliers and attached these little snaps on. This way they can just snap it together and take it and go. I have 2 snaps on each side here and then 1 on each end.
So that holds all the pieces.
Because this one has no place to stick to, so you stick this one in here like this and they won't lose it.
Oh, fantastic.
So I really like that.
That is an absolutely wonderful project to be able to make. And again, we've got it here in the fall, not fall, but in Valentine's and spring colors. But you could do this in any colors. You could make it neutral. You could match your house, your kids' room, whatever you'd want to do it. You could make it even bigger to be like big hearts and circle pillows if you want it to be bigger. So Well, we hope you enjoyed this project that we made today, and I'm so thankful that Miss Beth was here to share this with us. Be sure to go to Martelli Notions today and pick up all the supplies that you might need to be able to make this project. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.